I might really like him. You can't be serious.
I won't let her get in the way of us.
There's something wrong with you. I see it in your eyes.
The things you do for love, right?
You, a new series, premieres Sunday at 10 on Lifetime.
Fruit of the Loom's Everlight underwear is so light, you won't even notice you're wearing it. Now, are you really not going to notice the underwear you're wearing? No, you're not.
Excuse me, do you have any more of these pistachio scones?
Because it's made from incredibly light material and no panty lines, so no one else will notice either. And going unnoticed can sometimes be quite nice.
Guys, I need someone to work the weekend. Karen, see you Saturday.
What?
A noticeably light Everlight from Fruit of the Loom.
Here come the super lice. This here is happening.
They think normal pesticide treatments will stop us.
Nix Ultra!
Ah! Kill super lice and eggs with Nix Ultra, the pesticide-free solution. Nix Ultra.
Lifetime welcomes you to a live presentation of the National Women's Soccer League. The Portland Thorns are the defending champions of the National Women's Soccer League.
The Thorns win the NWSL championship!
Tonight, in front of their passionate fans, they can secure the home field for the playoffs next week. But their rivals from the north currently hold that right. The Reign have battled all season, and with a win, the playoffs go through Seattle. It's the NWSL on Lifetime. The Portland Thorns versus the Seattle Reign, live.
Welcome to Portland. It is only fitting. In the season finale, the Thorns and the Reign will face off in a raucous Providence Park. Best rivalry in the league, best venue in the league, and so much on the line. Prime time, Friday night on Lifetime. Hey everybody, I'm Dallin Cuff, and where would you rather be? Rose City Riveters bringing it right now. The TIFO is out. And this is what this rivalry is all about. It brings the best out of the players on the field, but definitely the best out of these fans right now. And there's so much on the line for these two teams. We know in 2 weeks that the championship game will be here at Providence Park. What we don't know is where next week's semifinal will be. If Portland wins, it'll be here, a huge home field advantage. If Seattle can walk out of here with a point at the least, or if they get the win, they will host up in Seattle and turn the tables a little bit. It's going to be a great game about to kick off. Let's get to the ladies that are calling the action. Jen Hildreth and Allie Wagner.
Jealous of your spot down there, Dallin. That looked good. I mean, and usually when you say, I know, Portland, Seattle, that's enough. You know it's going to be a great matchup. But as Dallin said, this one with a little something extra with everything on the line. And let's include revenge in that, because Portland lost to Seattle in the first 2 meetings this season. However, Portland, Allie, comes into this one pretty much at full strength. Seattle, not so much. They are without Megan Rapinoe and Allie Long. How does that affect things?
Well, look, those are massive losses, and I think it's going to be a challenge for Seattle tonight. But I do think the one thing that Seattle has going for them is that the onus is on Portland to come out and get the 3 points. And one area that I have my eyes on is without Allie Long, they're going to play with double sixes, Seattle is. Those are two defensive midfielders shielding in front of that back line. How do they deal with St. Clair? She's had 6 assists this season already. A lot runs through her. How do they deal with the late runs of Lindsay Horan? And then how do they deal with Tobin Heath and where she pops up on the field? It's a big matchup in the center of the park.
Now let's take a look at the starting lineups for both teams, starting with the Thorns.
And they're going to come out in their predictable 4-3-3 formation. But because the onus is on them, I think Klingenberg bombs forward more, so does Carpenter. A lot runs through Lindsay Horan, her ability to spray the park with her distribution. And then Caitlin Ford up top, only her second start, but she's a player so good back to goal and capable to run that channel in behind. And for Seattle, there's a couple changes, as Jen alluded to, without Rapinoe and without in that back line, actually, Nielsen, Westfall's going to slide in. There's a matchup there against Tobin Heath that I have my eye on. How does she deal with Tobin Heath getting into that half space? How does Morgan Andrews come over and help her? And then up top, Jody Taylor, a lot of the attack runs to her, but they're going to have to be conservative, so it's going to be on the break.
Take a look now at our two starting goalkeepers, Adriana Franch, the reigning NWSL Goalkeeper of the Year for Portland, and Lydia Williams could be the front runner to win that award this season for Seattle. One more shutout for her, she would tie the NWSL single season record set by Franch a year ago. Now let's love the game on Lifetime, and what a matchup it is. Portland, Seattle. A right to host a semifinal on the line for the winner of this matchup. Midge Purse, who got the start up top for Portland, was quickly onto the ball there. Portland in red. Playing here in their home field at Providence Park. Here is Jasmine Spencer, Seattle, playing the villain in the black. No love lost between these two rivals, that is for certain. Rumi Utsugi back in the starting lineup for the Reign. That is certainly a welcome addition. She's been out the last 5. It is a shorthanded team, as Ali talked about looking at the lineups. No Megan Rapinoe, no Ali Long, also no Teresa Nielsen. She was a little fatigued coming back from her 2 international matches in the break. Ellie Carpenter, the 18-year-old with the long throw into the box for the Thorns. Christine Sinclair, Portland's all-time leading scorer, was on it for a moment. Number 30, Celeste Bouret, back out to the Australian. Carpenter off her Australian teammate Steph Catley, who tried to save that one from going out and give up the corner, but could not do it. And now the team that may be the most deadly when it comes to corners, and the woman who is one of the best at setting them up. Tobin Heath will be there to take it. Lydia Williams in that #1 defense for Seattle, facing an early test. Right at that 6-yard line, Spencer gets it clear. Emily Menges, calming force at the center back position. Jess Fishlock, how big of a role will she have? Her role is always huge for Seattle, but perhaps even more so tonight.
And like I talked about, Jen, in the pregame, the responsibility for Utsugi and Andrews to deal with Sinclair in that advanced half space. It's going to be similar for Bouret. She's the one who shields the back line for Portland. How does she deal with Jess Fishlock? How do her and Horan share that responsibility? Because you know Portland and Mark Parsons want Horan to have that freedom to go forward, especially today when they need to get the 3 points.
Emily Sonnet, U.S. national team defender, back to Adriana Franch. Elizabeth Otto back in the starting lineup. She'd been out with injury for quite a while for Seattle, making her 2nd straight start. Menges back out to Megan Klingenberg. Little pressure from Seattle trying to pin the Thorns into that corner. Sinclair helps to break it. Carpenter trying to get around Spencer. Catley, though, steps in to take it for Seattle. Quick touch from Fishlock. Utsugi looking for Jody Taylor. English international has really stepped up her scoring as the season has gone on. Addo on the ball. Fishlock gets her shot off, and it's in the corner. Jess Fishlock with the early goal for Seattle.
Well, about a few seconds before this evolved, I was thinking to myself, wow, Seattle's in an expansive offensive shape. And sure enough, Jess Fishlock just sitting underneath that back line. As you can see, Taylor's the one pushing that back line. Menges has to step forward and get on her tight, but she spins her. Enough space there to get that shot off. That's just even fading away to fall that into the far post. Brilliant finish, nothing Franch could do.
2nd goal of the season for Jess Fishlock. We saw her get her first. It was a game winner at Utah not that long ago, August 11th. She said it was about time that time.
She loves
Timely
this
was that
matchup.
goal. Oh, she does.
I was talking to Jess before the game, guys, and she just came off a heartbreaking loss with her Welsh team. They're not making the World Cup. She said, I came off a heartbreak. Didn't even want to see a ball until Wednesday when she went to training. And even then, it's hard to get back into it. She was telling me very honestly, she's like, I could come out here and lie to you. I'm just telling you, my heart and head aren't quite where they should be, especially for a game of this magnitude. I'll tell you what, didn't show that way. She said, once I walk on the field, I hope it's different. It sure seems that it's different.
I'm sure she's going to want to see that ball again. That was ridiculous.
Getting some pregame insight. Heard that from Jess earlier in the week too. Just can't imagine how gutted she was. She had said earlier in the season that opportunity to take Wales to its first ever World Cup, she said, would be by far the highlight of her career. Know how much it really meant to her. She the most capped player, male or female, ever for Wales. But what better way to come back into it than to come in here against your rival and try to quiet this crowd. She's done it before. Vlatko Andonovski, you just saw a moment ago, new to this rivalry. It's his first year with Seattle. Said maybe he doesn't quite get it yet, but he knows players like Jess Fishlock absolutely do.
And when you come into this house and it's rocking like this, I think you have a glimpse at what it means to both these sides. But again, Jen, I'm just really surprised at the positive approach from Seattle and how aggressive they've been in the positioning of their outside backs. They're really pushing Westphal and Catley on into the half space behind those front three of Portland.
Ball intercepted by Carpenter. I know, Allie, I think the general thought when people saw the lineups, I had it too, was, well, Seattle's got the #1 defense in the league. They've won a lot of tight, close games. They're going to just hang on, dig in defensively, and not take too many risks. All they need is a draw to host in the semifinal, but they came out firing.
Those two just battling for it. Comes in behind, Hurst does on Catley, but to your point, Jen, sometimes the first 5-10 minutes are different beasts. So we'll see if Seattle settles in. We'll see if that goal changes anything as well with their tactics. But oftentimes you want to press hard early on in the match and then settle in, make it uncomfortable for the opponent, as Purse made that uncomfortable for Catley.
Midge Purse has had quite an up and down season. It's good to see Catley walking that one off. Two-time second 11 selection. Although this, her first year with Seattle, came over in a trade from the Orlando Pride. She earned those honors. Referee Timothy Ford opting for a drop ball. After that, Fishlock laid out. Great pictures. Appreciate our entire NWSL and Lifetime crew just soaking it all in.
I don't know, she gets the ball. I know that's not always an argument for no foul there, but she does get a clean play at the ball first. Really high line by Portland.
Megan Oyster takes it, a little too much contact beforehand. So that'll snuff out that opportunity. Christine Sinclair having a tremendous season for Portland. But the Thorns trailing Seattle just barely all time in the series history. As I said earlier, Seattle winning both meetings this season, including the one we were fortunate enough to see here on May 5th, a 3-2 affair that may have been one of the most exciting and well-played women's soccer matches that I have called.
Easily. Witnessed.
Back and forth it went. Tons of drama. Remu Tsugi, eventually the one to put in the game winner for Seattle. Now we'll see how Portland has to respond down a goal. Remember, they need not one but 2 goals. A draw does not get them home field advantage for the semifinals. It would drop them into 3rd, and they would have to travel to Seattle next week.
now it's just the pressure of Seattle that's really rattling Portland. They're not able to get a rhythm early on here. And we've seen it with Addo coming all the way across the pitch. She started out on that right side, and now she's filtered over here to the near side, one closest to Haran.
Carpenter. Curious to see how that connection is between Ellie Carpenter and Midge Purse. They have not had a lot of time to play in the two positions they're in now, as Jasmine Spencer and Lindsay Horan tangle it up a bit.
And Horan does so well there, just to shield and use her strength to ride off that initial challenge. And then it's just that little last shove by Horan.
That, Lindsay's 40th foul committed. I do believe that brings her up to actually a tie for first. Long ball in. Utsugi heads it back. Fishlock was making it around. Morgan Andrews now to Spencer. Utsugi. This one an easy grab for Adriana French. Portland really has not had their way in this match. They've been pretty reactive, really, to what Seattle has brought to them. Sonnet picking out Tobin Heath into Sinclair. That's time to turn. Goes back to Celeste Bouret. And Lindsay Horan. Klingenberg's ball into the area. Sinclair trying to go for it. Couldn't get too much pop onto it, and Maria Williams takes it out of the air.
We see that ball floated in from Klingenberg all day long. And as you said, Jen, there wasn't a lot on that service. Hard for Sinclair to get enough on it. Utsugi did just enough to throw off her timing.
Jody Taylor anxious to get in on the action for Seattle, but then Portland quick to recover. Mangus wants to go to the other side, back out to Tobin Heath. Why not? Mark Parsons telling me both Tobin Heath, Lindsay Horan, also Emily Sonnet on the back line. Felt like they came in great shape off of those two friendlies that they played with the U.S. against Chile. Both rotating in and out of the lineup. Horan takes it over. Someone got plowed over. And we play on. Addo, who picked up her first career NWSL assist on that ball into Fishlock for the match's only goal. Back to help defensively that time. Horan. Klingenberg trying to get there. All-out effort. It's not quite. Love to read about the work that Megan Klingenberg has been doing with the Players Association. She hasn't been called in with the U.S. national team in a little while, but has still been very involved with those players trying to make some money off of their rights and their likeness. Good business savvy. Ellie Carpenter, who joined the NWSL in Portland this season on her 18th birthday, the first day she was eligible. She was here, gets it up to Caitlin Ford, whose name haven't even called until now. Ford making just her second start up top. No Haley Raps also, of course, out for the remainder of the season after that back injury she suffered a couple of weeks ago in Washington, D.C. against the Spirit.
We haven't called Ford's name much because Seattle's doing such a good job of just pinning Portland in those wide areas.
Addo on it. Jody Taylor has to come out. Tried to split both Menges and Carpenter. A little ambitious, maybe. Horan lifting her head, wants options, but she's really leading the pack along with Ford. Here comes Purse. Just out in front of her.
Oh, and that had only come off for Lindsey Horan. It was so intelligent. That little touch inside created more time and space to lay that ball outside to Purse, but she overhit it.
There's Kristen Westphal at the start at that right back position, in place of Teresa Nielsen, Danish international. I know that is one area that if you're Portland, you've got to be thinking you want to pounce on a less experienced player. You've got a player in Tobin Heath who's been playing some of the best soccer of her career. Credit to Seattle that they just have not allowed that matchup to really happen much yet.
No, you're right, and a lot of the effective play for Portland has come when they change the point, usually through Lindsey Horan. But they just haven't been able to get expansive in their shape and maintain enough of the ball to isolate Tobin Heath 1v1.
Heath hovering just a bit in front of Klingenberg, perhaps wondering exactly where she's going to go with it. Eventually she does go to Heath when they're a couple of footsteps away from each other, and then Tobin really just running out of room.
And that's what Seattle wants to do against her, is just double up. Klingenberg actually made it easy for Seattle to do that as she drifted into the same space that Heath was trying to sit in. But with Tobin Heath, she usually can get out of those situations, so.
That she can, and she's been having one of her best seasons. 6 goals, 6 assists. 5 goals, 4 assists coming just in the last 8 matches for Portland. There she is. There's one of those moves to create some space for herself. And then the soft touch to Sinclair. Sinclair somehow gets the ball back. Ford in the box. No whistle. No foul. Lydia Williams hangs on to it.
Well, look at how many players are surrounded by Sinclair. It's just pinball right there. Fortuitous bounce for Sinclair, and then she tries to slide that into Ford.
So that's Bouret. You know, when we were last here, Allie, and Portland was playing Chicago, that was August 18th. Mark Parsons talked about how flat his team came out in that one, and they really came back. I mean, down 2 goals, they come back to earn the point, draw 2-2. Do you think it's been a matter of them coming out a little flat tonight, or is it more just what Seattle's doing?
I think I would credit Seattle more than fault Portland for the start of this match, and when you get an early goal like that, things change. But as you've seen, Portland's kind of worked their way into the match now that we're into that 19th minute or so.
Does Seattle change much after getting the early goal?
I've been just kind of watching their formation and the system and their defaults, and they are in their 4-2-3-1, more so than when they have a Rapinoe and they can be in a 4-4-1-1, if you will. So they are more conservative in their approach with their formation. And it's actually matching up quite well with Portland, because that is the exact same thing that Portland likes to implement.
No one really around, so that's Bouret.
And I think they're almost okay with that. As bad as that sounds, they're more concerned with that woman right there, Lindsey Horan, and Fishlock is eyeing her, spying her, as I like to say.
Carpenter got it away before the double team could get there. Long ball sent in from Sonnet, maybe thinking she'd be able to catch Lydia Williams. Talking to Mark Parsons yesterday, I said, you know, could just see Emily Sonnet coming up with one in a match like this. She seems to come up with goals only in the biggest moments, in the biggest matches.
That's so true.
Playoffs, her rival, that's when she usually comes alive. Did score in that match earlier this season against Seattle. Catley using that great left foot. Out of the reach of Addo, into the gloves of French. Klingenberg has really had the ball an awful lot. Sinclair in some space. Draws 3 defenders to her. It gets through to Heath. The ball into the box. Catley! Oh, our goalkeeper saved her there.
So good by Megan Klingenberg, and it actually started with her. French had used her as the outlet. She's the one who dummies that ball. Draws the attention, allows that to kick wide to Heath, and then almost the own goal as Catley's trying to make a play on it. Catches that near foot. That's why you serve that ball, is to make the defender make a mistake, make a play on it, because she doesn't know what's behind her.
And the crowd reacting to the replay. Remember, the entire ball would have to cross the line. Don't think there was really any question that a little bit of it might have gone over, but Williams kept the entirety of the ball out of the goal. Trying to tee up Heath. Megan Oyster coming over to help defensively. The center back named to the NWSL Team of the Month for August.
And this is the save from Lydia Williams. I think they're arguing that on that slide, it's hard from that angle, but you can tell when she gets up, when she rises up, the ball's still not even close to that line.
Yeah, we really couldn't see there, but she was clearly in the goal. Maybe a part of the ball, but I don't think the entire ball was able to get over. And I think what you hear from the crowd right now is a Haley Rasso chant, so I certainly hope she hears that as well. She is still recovering, trying to get healthy. And she hates to miss this run for her Portland Thorns team. Klingenberg once again trying to challenge in the air.
Yeah, Jen, you're right. That was the chant for Haley Rasso. I had a chance to talk to her earlier today. She's still out right now. In 6 to 8 weeks, she has 3 vertebrae with a transverse process fracture. It was at a DC game. We were there a couple weeks ago. She took a knee in the back from Aubrey Bledsoe. Obviously, she's really heartbroken and up here, but she's still in DC right now. So much pain they could not put her on a plane to get back to Portland after that match. She went to the hospital right after, then went to a rehab center about a couple days later once she was able to be moved over there. And she's going to remain there until she's able to get back on a plane. Still dealing with a lot of pain. She told me today she goes to PT, physical therapy every day, and today the pain was so bad and she's working so hard she passed out. So she is still dealing with this stuff a lot. Her dad was actually at the game in DC. Afterwards, he stayed there in the hospital. He had to fly back to Australia the next day. A trainer from the Thorns stayed there with her for a couple days till her mom flew in from Australia. Her mom was still there helping her. Her message to the team that she told me, she's very sad but very excited for tonight. She hopes they pull out the 3 points and she can be with them next week and watch the home semifinal here. But of course, they have to win to do that.
Wow, that is great stuff, Dallin. Thank you for sharing. We certainly send our best wishes to Haley. I imagine saw one of the signs out there, the crowd cheering for her. There's probably a couple extra bows in the hair in the crowd, I would imagine, as well. Haley Rasso's signature.
Jen, you're clairvoyant. There are a ton of bows over in the Rose City Rivers. They wanted to give me one. I just don't got any hair.
Carpenter! Carpenter nearly putting a bow on that one, Dallin. An Aussie for an Aussie right there. Of course, we get a crossbar in this rivalry.
Well, so much of the play is filtered down that left side, but this one came off a change of point from Lindsay Horan out to Carpenter, and then she's in open space. She's got the advantage over Utsugi there, and oh, that one almost dips in.
One goal for Ellie Carpenter this season. a goal that one would have been had it been a couple of inches lower. Lydia Williams had no chance at it.
No, but you're seeing Portland start to take control of this match, and a lot of it has been filtering through Lindsey Horan. When she's able to get enough time and space to change it, it's incredibly dangerous for Portland because they're so fast in those wide areas.
Portland is a team that will tell you they feel stronger for the adversity that they have gone through this season, a slow start to the season. They had a lot of really key players out, either injury or international duty early on in the season. So things didn't really start to get rolling for this Portland Thorns team until the second half of the season. And developing that chemistry and consistency is something that Mark Parsons said has really happened over about the last month. Will it be enough for this Portland Thorns team to come back? They trail their rivals from the north, the Seattle Reign, up 1-0 off a goal from their leader, their captain, Jess Fishlock, in the 4th minute. The winner of this one earns the right to host the NWSL semifinal, the first one of 2 next week. Seattle will host with either a win or a draw. A little steeper challenge for Portland. They need the full 3 points and a win if they want to be able to host. Caitlin Ford couldn't find an opening. Spencer, along with Steph Catley, another transfer from the Orlando Pride to join Seattle this season. Lindsey Horan inserting herself into the action. Jody Taylor usually up at the point of that Seattle attack, had come deeper, and as a result, a lot of players a little out of shape. Kristen Westphal will pass it back, allow things to reset a little.
When you see Addo on the ball, essentially it is Westphal who's providing the width on that far side. I think it's a wrinkle that Portland wasn't necessarily expecting.
Horan. I wonder how often that vision of hers is so quick to find either number 17 or number 12, Heath or Sinclair.
Well, it's also because of their positioning, and they get in those right areas where they are an option right there. Perfect little half space between 2 defenders, between the lines initially. It's a subtle nuance, but it makes it incredibly hard to defend.
Another one of the reasons Portland has had the season that they've had, sitting in 3rd place at the moment. You think about a player like a Christine Sinclair, who has played every minute of every match this season at 35 years old. 9 goals, 6 assists. Lindsey Horan is having her best year in the NWSL. 11 goals, 2 assists. Those two the highest scoring duo in the league. So she missed a couple toward the beginning. I think you say that paying dividends for the U.S. national team as well. Ford also late to the party as she was injured in the offseason. Fishlock doesn't have much help around her, gets around Bourret. It's Fishlock in a sea of red, trying to get it around or over Adriana Franch. No such luck.
I mean, this is just too easy for Jess Fishlock. She just glides right by Bourret, uses that little change of pace, the burst, and then gets her head up. Franch was, in fact, off her line, but she doesn't get that one on target. Someone likes this rivalry.
I was going to say one of my favorite moments, and we were previewing this matchup earlier in the week on a conference call, and Jess Fishlock was asked to name some of her favorite moments, and she said, hang on, let me get out my list. I think she has a new one to add. Purse across Sinclair! The shot from
Well, the production continues for that woman right there, Lindsey Horan, but this is a team goal. Tobin Heath, who's the one who filters inside, changes it. Ellie Carpenter just decides, I'm driving upfield. I'm going to engage Steph Catley. I'm going to buy time for Midge Burst so she can slide that across. You get the near post run with Ford. Then you get Sinclair trying to come in on that ball. And then the rebound just comes right out to Horan, and she can fire that one. Roof at home. What a strike. That is a team goal. That is a classic Portland explosive transition goal for this side.
The Stars have come out tonight in primetime on Lifetime. Jess Fishlock striking first. Now tied with Megan Rapinoe for the most goals all time, 5 in her career against Portland. That was in the 4th minute, and then Lindsey Horan coming through. 30th minute, her 12th goal of the season to tie it up. There's Fishlock playing angry. Jody Taylor in the box, to the corner, but not far enough.
There's that outlet to the left side, though, from Franch. They keep springing when she picks that ball up with their hands.
Vlad Grandinovsky said we have got to be aware of the late runs made by Lindsey Horan, and sure enough, who popped up into that open space after the initial challenge but Horan.
And it's just simple training ground, clinical box organization with that near post run, the far post run, and then you get that support coming up, as you said, Jen, the late run from Lindsey Horan.
There you see the 4 teams we know will be in the NWSL playoffs in some order. We do know North Carolina's #1. That we know for sure. Seattle will be 2 or 3. Portland could go anywhere from 2 to 4. Chicago could get up to 3rd or 4th. The Red Stars playing Utah tomorrow, so that'll certainly be something to watch. They are rooting for a chance to get in there. If Seattle wins tonight and Chicago wins tomorrow, they would move up to 3rd. Portland would drop to 4th and have to face North Carolina, the Shield winners. Though it's going to be interesting to see McCall Zerboni less North Carolina. I hate to see that for her. She picked up an injury. The U.S. national team game.
Big loss for North Carolina.
Huge. The crowd just roaring over every altercation out there.
A big gain for Portland to get Caitlin Ford back. Her ability back to goal. I know they have Serna Gorchevich up top, but Caitlin Ford, I just like her diversity in attack, playing back to goal, but then her ability to run in that channel. It's really dynamic for those 2 center backs to deal with tonight.
Just a 2nd start and 6th appearance of the season for Caitlin Ford, who finally was able to get close to 100%. After being injured in the W League semifinal in off-season. Her first year with Portland.
That's well done by Westfall. Sitting off at Tobin Heath and closing as soon as that ball arrives.
Callie saw Spencer. I feel like Klingenberg has had the ball a lot in this match so far, but actually Carpenter has too on this side, both the outside backs for Portland.
Well, I think a lot of it is if you watch Seattle's shape, they're staying incredibly narrow with that 3. So where they go 4-2-3, that 3 is tight.
I think right now Carpenter just saying, who's going to keep up with me? She's got great speed. This ball nearly stuck across to Heath. Seattle has never swept Portland in the season series. Have a chance to do that tonight. Told you about that 3-2 match here earlier in May, and then it was Jody Taylor with the late game winner, 1-0 for Seattle in their 2nd matchup in June. Rose Horan. Told you she commits a lot of fouls. She gets fouled a lot too, right up there with one of the most fouled players in the league as being one of the most.
But again, what's interesting to me even more about this is that Addo's all the way across the pitch spying Horan, so she's not able to receive that ball without pressure. And that's why, Jen, you talked about Klingenberg getting on the ball a lot, Carpenter. There's going to be space for those outside backs when they do, in fact, get in their more expansive shape.
Emily's on it. Former Virginia Cavalier U.S. national team member getting this ball into a dangerous spot. Her hand's so good in the air. Oh, back heel over to Menges. Cross it goes, forward the header. Horan is there. Gets it back out, Sinclair. The Thorns had the composure that time, just could not get a clear finish to come off the foot. Now Sinclair. Klingenberg just waiting for it, just at the edge of the box. Goes over Horan initially. Carpenter. Hurst, a little bend to find Lindsey Horan. Tobin Heath after.
No, but they should be loving these waves of attack from Portland right now. Seattle's reeling, and one of the things you can't do against this Portland side is allow them to rein in service time and time again because Lindsey Horan's so dynamic. Christine Sinclair getting on the end of service in the box, and we've seen Caitlin Ford add that to the mix.
Sonic coming through. There is Ford. Four Seattle players around her. Midge Purse wide open. Both flanks in action for Portland tonight. Sinclair is making a run through the middle of the box. Just a bit off. Leah Williams having none of that. Do have a player down. That's why our referee, Timothy Ford, blew the whistle. Jody Taylor is down for Seattle. Now, she did play in that big match, England qualifying for next summer's World Cup with the win over her Seattle teammate Jess Fishlock and Wales. So she played in that match, but did not play in the second match because she had a little bit of an injury, Jody Taylor. So you wonder if that may be coming back. And there you see in the stands, Megan Rapinoe, Allie Long, both there in sweats rather than in uniform for this one. Although we were told, and asked Vlatko Ananovsky, this is a semifinal, are they playing? He said, Megan Rapinoe, almost certainly yes. Allie Long, still not quite sure. They're both getting close, and he hopes to have both back for the playoffs.
I just want to know what Rapinoe's listening to. Probably our broadcast.
I hope so. Give us a little smile, Pino. Come on, are you just listening to tunes? Maybe halftime. Coming up on the Ford Halftime Show, we'll spend a little time with Megan Rapinoe as she talks about age, work ethic, and the U.S. women's national team. Plus, Allie and I will break down our first half. That's the Ford Halftime Show. Ford, go further. As Portland has seized the momentum in this match, they are also fully in control. Possession 61% in favor of the Thorns in this match. Incredible discrepancy.
And that is actually how I anticipated this match to play out more so with Seattle trying to soak up the pressure of Portland. But I still think right now, Jen, it's incredibly uncomfortable for Seattle. If you watch that back line, they're having a difficult time knowing where to be and how to deal with Caitlin Ford as you see her go up, rise up there. Calling the offside.
Jen, just to add what you were saying about Jodie Taylor, was that right knee that she took the knock-in against that game against Wales, the World Cup qualifier for England. She did not go to the Kazakhstan match, as you said. Black Kamenovsky was really happy about that the Federation sent her back, but obviously she's still not fully fit 100%. She took a little bump, something to watch, her right knee still.
And Jodie Taylor, leading scorer for the Seattle Reign team this season. 9 goals, 6 of those coming in her last 10 matches. And this is an already thin lineup for Seattle, as we've talked about. Adriana Leon, Canadian international. Vlad Kamenovsky also telling us not available, not here, had some family issues, so is not on the bench. They do have Beverly Yanez, who's been out, and that's an encouraging sign that she's potentially going to get some minutes tonight. I'll tell you what, though, the Seattle team has had to weather the storm of injuries. Really, the last month or so, in particular. Rapinoe, this the 9th match, and she has not been in the starting lineup. Long's missed a few. Jess Fishlock missed a handful earlier in the season, so some really influential players having to miss time, and yet here they are. Seattle, 41 points in 2nd place.
And credit that, a lot of that to their defensive, I would say, discipline. I mean, this team is incredibly stingy in giving up goals, and I think they have a good understanding of that first.
Seattle has a chance to set the NWSL record for fewest goals allowed in a single season. They've now allowed 17 with the goal tonight. You can see that is tied for the fewest. North Carolina also has allowed 17, but the NWSL record is 19. Portland set that. They allowed just 19 goals in 2016.
And that's the contrast for Portland of last year to me, Portland of this year. Last year they were stingy with goals, as you said too, the previous year, but this year they're more explosive going forward. They're more dynamic in the attack. You talked about the production you're seeing out of Sinclair. I mean, she has 6 assists this season thus far, didn't have any last season. I think with Tobin Heath coming back, yes, you're getting production out of her, but she's also freeing up space for Lindsey Horan, for Sinclair. And now you have Ford and Serna Gorchevich, Midge Purse. I mean, they're just incredibly explosive going forward, and a lot of different type of players that you can slot in, and it changes the way you have to defend them.
And I think they feel they are more versatile in the way that they can attack as well. They became a fairly direct team as the season wore on last season. This year they feel like they've been able to go at it a number of different ways. Sonnet, last minute words from Mark Parsons, or she sends this ball into the fray. Comes up short, too short for Sinclair to do too much with it. Nato, the international from Ghana, has done a lot of work on the defensive end as well as getting the assist on Seattle's goal. Moran has time to serve it across. Midge Purse there waiting for it. The flag, though.
I think it was a little shove in the back. As the ball was arriving, she just kind of gave Catley a little shove from behind. Although I don't know if it was much. I think Catley just bit on it.
Either way, whistle blew. Threat averted. To those pink nets, by the way, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Night tonight for this Cascadia rivalry. The intensity doesn't surprise you, Allie. Is there anything that does from what we've seen in this first half so far? As we have a couple of minutes to stop and chime at it on.
Not in particular. I thought that Portland would have to try to come out and boss the game, and their ability to really stretch Seattle out is causing problems for Seattle, and I think they are missing those key players, but I think perhaps just the early goal from Seattle was a little unexpected.
Kintsugi looking for Fishlock, the goal scorer in the 4th minute. Her hand, savvy move. Ford came back for it. Oyster did well to win it first. Morgan Andrews, USC Trojan, out to Fishlock. She and Menges, those two know all about this rivalry, having gone at one another the last 5 years.
And Fishlock has been all over the place. So smart in her movement. She saw that Morgan Andrews was going to pick that ball up, and she held herself onside, pulled wide, and allowed this 1v1 to ensue. And just goes at Menges. Either going to draw the foul or earn the corner kick. She does the latter.
Just the 2nd foul committed all season by Emily Menges, and it does result in the first corner of the match for Seattle. Steph Catley and her left foot challenged the reigning NWSL goalkeeper of the year. Amidst the screens, France comes out to punch it, doesn't go far. He helps her out. Spencer. Again, there for the Thorns. Expect the whistle any moment now. We are over our minimum of 2 minutes of allotted stoppage time, and there indeed it is. So here we are, these two rivals, Allie, tied at a goal apiece. Now let's go down to Dallin, who is with Portland head coach Mark Parsons.
Thanks, Jen. Mark, Seattle has the result they need at this point in time. You guys need the 3 points. You need the win. What has to happen and or change in the second half for you to walk away with 3 points?
Well, we've got to be happy with a lot of things. We've played the game in their half, and we're getting the final third entries. A little bit more quality on the delivery and on the finish could put us in a better situation. And we just got to keep an eye on putting pressure in our half, because they're getting crosses and shots off too easy at the moment.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you.
She talks about aging like a fine wine as she gets better at 33 years old, her work ethic, and the U.S. women's national team. Plus, Jen and Allie will review the first half. Ford, go further.